Well, spoilers. What's up, guys? I'm Pencil here, and here to do a quick little breakdown and discussion on the spoilers for chapter 270 of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is known as, I think I saw the chapter title somewhere earlier, but I don't remember where it is now. But regardless, we have spoilers. We're gonna make it fast. We're gonna make it speedy. No Gonzalez. So let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. Editing me. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? The guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, moving to... Oh, I'm so sorry. Have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact. Let me set this 15-minute timer right now. Let me just set the timer and get the spin. All right. So obviously, once again, we're in wind down mode. We're in wind down and we're in wrap up mode. So I don't. You see, part of this chapter does make me happy, but it's like now I'm scared because I'm one of the few. At least for me, I haven't commented on it yet. And I know there's a big announcement next week, so I should probably make the video sooner rather than later, so I probably will. But I'm personally in the camp that I didn't really want a JJK sequel. I wanted Gege to rest. And obviously, if we're going with the whole Fujimoto Part 1, Part 2 idea, there was a decent chunk of break for Fujimoto to get some rest in between the release of Chainsaw Man Part 1 and Chainsaw Man Part 2. I think it's upwards of like 2 years they got off. But still, I worry for Gege. And plus, I'll admit, I just don't like how... This is gonna sound weird. For my Kingdom Hearts fans out there, y'all know how y'all felt about, or at least, let me not generalize. At least for me, as a Kingdom Hearts fan, one of the things that bothered me the most about 3 is that it spent way too much time setting up for 4 and beyond. It barely felt like a conclusion to the Dark Seeker saga. Don't get me wrong, I knew well before 3 released, that it was not going to be the end of the series, because I actually kept up with the series and news and stuff like that for it. But considering the third numbered title in the Kingdom Hearts series was meant to be the conclusion to an arc that spanned over, or at the time, nearly 20 years, of multiple games, multiple characters, it didn't feel like the ending to that arc because so much was dedicated to the future, and many characters from that arc weren't even allowed to have their character arcs closed because they need to be there, open and relevant for the next part. And that's how I feel about this, where ultimately, I don't like the idea that we had to rush through Sukuna's final chapter, and we had to rush through a Carver vs. Urume, and we had to rush through the resolution of the merger question mark that seems to happen in this chapter, maybe not, and the end of the Culling Games, and just in general, the end. I feel like if that's what happens, JJK Part 2 gets announced next week, because I've seen people bring up the comparisons already. I just wouldn't really like it. But of course, I'm talking too much in hypotheticals. In the actual chapter itself, we open up in nice, sweet little ways. This is Megami at what I initially thought was Gojo's grave, but no, it is Samuki's grave. Ultimately, he is laying her down to rest. And I do like that Shoko's there with him. Ultimately, the one other character who's lost all her connections. Except not really. Because Megami still at least has both of his classmates. Meanwhile, Shoko's the one who lost Gojo and Geto, and thus leaves now purely alone. Being the one with Megami here is nice. It's sweet. Ultimately, they apparently haven't burnt the body. So, like, interesting. Yorozu's body is still technically around. I would have figured it would have rotted by this point. I'm not sure where they found it. Because, like, I guess, well, Sukuna and Megami shared a mind and a body. So, presumably, Megami just scurried back over. But remember, Yorozu's body should have just been laid out for like over a month, and by Yorozu's body I mean Samuki's body, so I'm not sure what they have left to burn. Maybe it is just like real remains, considering she was just left in Sendai to rot. I highly doubt Sukuna took her with him, but that's neat. It's nice, it's sweet. And honestly, finding Shoko to just not really believe in the afterlife or anything or any of the care like that makes sense. Once again, she's a character who, while we don't have much of her, at least by her mentality and what we've seen of it so far, it makes sense she wouldn't really care, and it's kind of just like, yeah, whatever, let me light up real quick. However, a detail I do like is that Shoko does not smoke. I'm not sure what it's meant to signify fully. Once again, because Shoko doesn't have that much time as a character, I mean, smoking is bad, at least in my opinion. Like, the smoking of anything is bad, but that's because I was raised very, very specifically, and I have that hard set rule in my mind. But I'm guessing this is meant to be that just as Satoru Gojo is free of his burden of being the strongest, just as Suguru Geto is free of Kenjaku, now Shoko is free of her one vice, free of the thing that held her back, free of the thing that would probably cause her to burn a whole bunch of RCT on herself. smoking. She just throws it away, possibly in honor, but once again, this isn't actually Gojo's grave, so she kind of just throws it away. But still, that's nice. I'll take that. For this, apparently Tengen is firmly entangled in the remains that they peeled from Megumi Fushiguro. So that's weird. That's weird. That's strange. Once again, maybe when this is cleaned up, I'll have a better idea of what this means. But, like, why? Why is Tengen still a little baby fish thing? Is it because the culling games aren't over? Is it because the merger is still prepped to happen at any moment? I don't know. I'm a little confused. But ultimately, Tengen is still around. At least we're addressing that. We don't see them in these spoilers, from what I can tell. But of course, the spoilers look really, really rough right now. But yeah, apparently the solution they're going to go with is some sort of idea where they're going to possibly use a star plasma vessel, I guess? I'm assuming. Because notably they talk about how they need to implement alternatives and stuff like that, considering they don't think they can reinstate Tengen without, reinstating a whole bunch of mess. But a character named Mitsu or whatever, ultimately they're still so young. So it seems like the star plasma vessel process is continuing, but how that affects Tengen now is completely unknown, considering, like, we just don't know. I don't know. Like, how Tengen's not human anymore, so what good would the star plasma vessel be? Unless they can, like, unless they can become, like, the new Tengen and the title of barrier holder is passed down and the immortality technique is passed down. I don't know. Weird. Interesting. But we also get to see Kamo and his family, and I think that's sweet. I feel like for a character who really didn't get much screen time, I'm happy that he ended up getting a happy ending. Whether he's back in Japan or not, I don't know. He may still be overseas. With that being the case, I mean, here's the thing, right? As a guy who likes Sakurajima Colony, this is nice for me, but, like, man, I'll admit, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice enough. As we see Maki throw a katana to Daido and be like, hey, here's the katana you kept asking for. And ultimately, she reveals, y'all need to leave. And, like, go into hiding. AKA, we cannot have US characters in this narrative. Because ultimately, apparently, Yuji is going around liberating all the people who were consumed by sorcerers. And remember, both Daido and Mio are technically incarnated players. And thusly, if Yuji were to get their hands on them, he would separate them from whatever their vessels were. And with that being the case, obviously they cannot be allowed to exist. But Maki, probably in thanks to... And you know what? I'll admit, I like this characterization for Maki. A Maki who is thankful for the role both of them played in her life and helping her realize her own true potential. That's nice. And I'm glad that in exchange for giving her new life, she gives them their lives. Of course, that does come at the cost of, like, the people that Daido and Mio once were. But at the same time, no one questioned Choso about stealing his body. So, I don't think Yuji's gonna silly punch Choso out and force him to turn back into the guy he was originally, if he had lived, based on how they were talking about him. So I think it's fine. A little bit of sacrifice would be like that, would be like that. It's going to be like that, you know what I'm talking about? That does make me wonder, though, are they gonna go hunt down Uro? Because she hasn't shown up. She's probably still alive, but she hasn't shown up. But with that being the case, ultimately, Maki does essentially banish them from the plot. So we're not going to see them in JJK Part 2. Until we will. But with it being the case, we see that Maki does offer them the possibility to keep fighting curses. And, like, maybe that'll get them excused, and maybe Yuji will spare them in that case. But both of them are like, yeah, whatever. And they completely blow her off, and she's just like, fine, dip out, deuces, I'll know where to find you, no one else will. You'll be safe. I'm down with that. The other thing that does get... How much time do I have left? I have 7 minutes. I need to move faster. But ultimately, they do sort of promise each other one last fight, right? Like, on the pretext that, yeah, they do have some time to themselves, Maki is letting them go, but one way or another, they're going to find out. Someone's going to find out that, wait a minute, those two are incarnated, and Yuji's going to eventually come. And ultimately, Daido specifically is like, hey, you come back specifically. If we're going to go out, we want to go out to you specifically. And I do think that's sweet. Once again, I'm happy Maki has her own subset of characters. Poor Yuta, man. Like, yes, Uro, but we don't even see their interactions this chapter. We don't see Yuta this chapter, but it makes sense. Last chapter was the Yuta chapter. But we do get to see Bernard is apparently working his manga dream. And specifically, I think I'm not sure. My brain is screaming that's Kusakabe, but I think the hair is just different enough that it's some completely different guy. But ultimately, Bernard is still living his dreams. I want to say that's okay. I'm fine with him. I wonder if he ever got his rib back, though. Like that's the one thing I wonder. Were they actually able to heal him? I don't think so. Because I think once your scars heal over, RCT can't restore that. Kind of like what happened with Maki. And it's presumably been a while since Charles has rib removed, so I think he's just cooked on that front. However, another thing, I've seen the whole internet go crazy over this. No, I don't think this is Kenny. I think it's a funny little joke. I think it's a funny little reference, but at best, it's like Yujo vibes. But even then, I think this is just a person who happens to look like Kenny, have Kenny's same hairstyle, so on and so forth. I don't think we actually brought back Kenny in the most nonchalant way. Of course, could the comedian do it? Probably. It's a reality warping technique that Takaba still has very little understanding over. But at the same time, I mean, it could be this blasé, but Yuta also ate Kenny. And admittedly, that's the thing, that we don't know how much time has passed. And that's the thing is, we don't know how much time has passed, and whether or not Kenny incarnating fully and fully healing would lead to, him, well, for lack of a better term, just reducing the copy effect to zero and immediately wiping Yuta. So I only don't think this is Kenny. Would I be happy if it's Kenny? On the assumption we're getting a sequel, I'd be fine with it, because I would want an antagonist from the previous series that I do actually care about, not have to start from scratch all over again. But in the sense of this being the ending to JJK, just like I was hoping for the ending of KH3 to be the ending to KH3, and very specifically the Dark Seeker Saga, no, I don't want it to be Kenny. Let it just be a gag. That's fine with me. I don't know. Once again, Takaba, he's fine as a character, but leave him be. We get to see Amai go apologize for his previous bullying acts, which is nice, sweet, once again. That's cool. He bows. I do like how the interaction is awkward, though. The kid doesn't really accept the apology, but nor does he really deny him anyway. He's like, dude, what the heck are you doing? I do think that's a little bit sweet. Then we get to see that Higuruma apparently is not exactly turning himself in. Oh, this is adorable. This is Yuji's classmates. They see Amai apologize and watch the homie walk off. But Higuruma apparently is not necessarily turning himself in, or when he went to turn himself in, everything ended up getting dropped, and it's mainly because of his potential as a sorcerer, and they're like, hey, we want you to keep limiting cursed spirits. Offering yourself is not good enough punishment. Come here, little boy. And thusly, they got him off scot-free for the most part, but ultimately, Higuruma still wants to serve some sort of legal penance, and thusly, his loyal friend is going to help him do that. And bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. Essentially, she's going to lock up Higuruma-san, who's going to be defending himself somewhere or another. That is nice. It's sweet. I'm glad to see that Higuruma will still be in the narrative. He's hopefully a character that'll get some... I mean, this is a fine conclusion for him, though. Once again, honestly, the end is the easiest way out, so you might as well start with a new beginning. Then we get to see Angel and Hana essentially go on to Megami and try, or Angel at least, try to get Hana to just hurry up and confess. Considering all they did, they took down the Fallen, they risked their life, they did all this. It only makes sense that, yeah, Hana should be able to get over her nerves and just confess to Megami. And ultimately, we do get to see that Megami does feel something, but it's not love, it's obviously guilt. And he's like, hey, I'm sorry. I'll take responsibility. Didn't mean to nibble on you like that, for real. Well, if it makes you feel any better, you were mad tasty. No, okay. But ultimately, Hana does get excited as he says, oh, I'll take responsibility, and he says, I'll be your right-hand man. And naturally, Hana, being delusional and not really knowing Megami that well, is like, oh, marriage. You know who she reminds me of? Elphelt from Guilty Gear. Specifically, she's like a specific Elphelt, though, because obviously Hana's not running around asking everyone to marry her, but like, specifically, she does not know this man, but she really wants that man. But with it being the case, I'm not sure if this is meant to be a cutaway scene, or if this is meant to be like a continuation of this scene. I'm assuming, obviously, there's a misunderstanding. We are not going to see Megami and Hana get married. Like, come on now. I don't think so. I really don't think so. But with that being the case, we cut away to these random people. Ultimately, a woman's coming home from work. The culling games being over is still not a confirmed thing yet. And we still don't even know where Tengen is. They just say they're trapped in the remains of Sukuna, but like, we literally saw all the remains of Sukuna burn away and dissipate. So like, what were you talking about? But once again, these are rough translations. We'll see eventually. But ultimately, one busts down the door. She's talking to her man, and her man turns around with something extremely unsettling. I don't even like looking at this stuff. Once again, I've revealed in other videos before, I do not like body morphing. It bothers me deeply. So he ends up looking like this, and he gets reported to JJK. Somehow, I don't know, he gets reported to the Technical Institute. And notably, the guy looks fine, for the most part. He's well built, but ultimately, that's about it. And Nobara takes away the woman in order to investigate. As it's revealed, there is a decisive battle in the uninhabited demon-infested Shinjuku. No, I'm kidding. Ultimately, there is a new curse user, a new curse, a new sorcerer, regardless, that is showing up, causing havoc, and possibly even manipulating this man, and many others. And thusly, they're going to go fight him next chapter, as Megami or Itadori says, hey, it should be no problem for the three of us, which it really shouldn't, but we'll see. Somehow it'll end up being a problem. Overall, it's a fine chapter. Like, it's not bad. It's not bad. Unlike last chapter, which had me like genuinely annoyed with Gege's writing, this is just like, I'm almost not gonna say flat neutral, but mostly neutral. I'm fine with the events that transpired. I like some of the character interactions we got, and ultimately, I still really don't want a JJK part 2, which is crazy because I know once JJK ends, no one will watch this. But now that I know that JJK is gonna end, it's like I'm ready to let it go. I'm kind of ready to let it go. But, of course, those are my thoughts. I only have 20 seconds left, so please tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1, things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reaction to this very chapter, ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you come to $25 Patreon or $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do have a link to my Ko-Fi description down below where you can drop 5 beans for a short video, 20 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a I want to see who was really paying attention. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave bug-eyed. Bug, B-U-G. I mean, I guess you could do the dash without the dash, but dash-eyed, E-Y-E-D. Bug-eyed in the comment section down below. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members: Sierra, Greyhound, Eternal Flame, NMA, Real Rare, Red Wolf 4765, Paris Arnold, Astro, Brandon Payne, and G Prosper. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Encarnacion, Josh Brown, Igneal Lind, and A+A. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our $7 members: Autumn Mornings Lazo, Fine, Zombie Hunter, and Austin Wimberly. Then I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 members: Robbie Uchiha, Jay Warrior, and AZ Void. Then I'd like to give a big old thank you to our $10 patrons: Overlord Zero, Joaquin Munoz, and Idem Okami.
And I'd like to give the craziest, juiciest, most next-level, quadruple, sloppy, toppy, next-level, superhuman, in beyond this world, kidney heaven thank you to our $100 patron, or That Guy with a Pencil tier patron, Calvin Elder.